All right, we are recording. And before we get started, I thought it would be good to introduce our new member, Randy Bruce. Randy is muted. He's the only one who's muted. That's Randy. He's quiet.
There
he is.
Randy.
Good
to welcome, Randy.
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you, everybody. I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right, good.
All right, are you seeing the agenda?
It looks like Mark's taken over our screen, which is appropriate. And if I can, I'm ready to call the meeting to order, and I will do so tonight. And we need a roll call. I'm not sure who does that. Is that you, Mark, that does that?
I can do that. Okay, everybody's here. If you want a formal roll call, we have Grosskopf.
Sure, call them.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Murray.
Here.
Paulson.
Here.
Sipsma.
Here.
And Randy Bruce, our new member.
Here. Excellent.
And you also have Tom Wilson and Mark Opitz present.
Great. Thanks, Mark. First item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting, and I could take some action on that.
I would move approval of the minutes of October 28th.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion
Dean?
and a second.
Yes.
Yep, that was Dean. Yep. We have a motion and a second to approve last meeting's minutes, I believe, from October. I just had to get my screen a little corrected there. There we go. Okay. And any additions, corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye or raise your hand, whichever you prefer.
Aye.
Aye.
Say nay or thumbs down. Hearing none, the motion is approved, and that means the minutes are approved. The one and only item on our agenda tonight is number 1, the recommendation regarding a zoning variance application for 4914 Wakanda Drive. And I'm going to turn to Tom Wilson as our staff person to give us the background on what we're looking at here tonight. And my understanding on all of this is that this has been to the Westport Planning Commission. It's coming here because Middleton is our zoning authority, and then we're gonna, the Westport Town Board's gonna look at this on February 1st. But all of this is really just recommendations to the Middleton. What's the name of it? Is it the
Zoning Board of Appeals?
Zoning Board, to the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals. So we're all making recommendations. And Tom, go ahead.
Okay, well, that is exactly right. Mr. Lambert came in because he is one of a few people, very few, that really does not have a garage located on Borchers Beach or on Wakanda Drive in this area, and the parking is very limited. His lot is very sloped and steep down to the lake, and it's also pretty narrow because it's an older lot that was created a long time ago. Wakanda Drive is a very old, narrow road that Mark took some good pictures of, actually. And what he asked for was a variance from the front yard setback to be allowed to build a garage on the site, and he submitted plans and everything else, and he is not building right on the road right away. He's still set back a little bit, but it would not be the required 20 feet from the road right away that would be required. Now, why did this land in your lap? Well, this is a matter that you apply for a variance, and this body doesn't hear variances, but our town board would normally give a recommendation to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And when you're looking at this from a variance perspective, you're looking for particular conditions on the lot that would lead to literal enforcement of the zoning ordinance, either not being exceptionally practical here, and you don't want to break the spirit of the zoning code, but there is practical difficulty that creates an unnecessary hardship in the situation that has nothing to do with the homeowner, but has a lot to do with the situation on the lot itself. And you don't want to also interfere with matters in the neighborhood. You don't want to throw the neighborhood off by providing for a variance like this. So at any rate, he applied for that. And when we looked at it at the Town Plan Commission, we're normally looking at it from just a planning perspective. But he has given some fairly decent reasons why, because of the nature of this lot and because of the parking situation, that if he can build a garage, that he probably meets the standards in the ordinance. Again, that's something for the Zoning Board of Appeals to determine when they have their hearing and take their evidence and make their quasi-judicial decision on that. But from the Town Plan Commission's perspective, they're just looking to make sure that from a planning perspective, from the neighborhood's perspective, that this makes sense. And in their opinion, with the conditions that were set forward in the resolution that I did draft, so you could see that. I don't know that Mark's got it up on his documents yet, but with those provisions, they felt that they would be satisfied with the Zoning Board of Appeals granting the variance in this situation. Now, that doesn't mean they will or that they should. What it means is that our Plan Commission was comfortable with the granting of this variance based on their planning decision. So
I think you might be frozen there, Tom.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, it looks like you're frozen.
All right, I can jump in. So I don't have the resolution. I don't have the resolution in the packet, but I can look for it if you'd like me to pull it up. I didn't have a chance to combine it, add it to the packet today. Sure. Do you need the resolution?
Sure, it would be good. We could, until we get Mr. Wilson back, we can certainly turn to Dean and to...
Which is that...
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, which is basically that they don't object to this. And so that's what we're kind of dealing with at this point. The documents are there. I don't see that the applicant is here. I don't know that we need him, frankly, because he did provide quite a bit of detail for the variance, I think. And I believe also that Mark, don't you staff the Zoning Board of Appeals?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the resolution right now. You were locked up for a while.
If you can give me, I have it up and I could show it. If
okay, I found.
Give me.
Well, okay, I can do that. Sure.
I don't know that I can do that on my end, but
I have it on my screen too. If you need me to share the screen. So.
All right. So now anyone can share.
So this is what I got. So this is the resolution. Now, can everybody see it okay? Because I can't tell if everybody can see it.
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a resolution that I would have drafted, that I did draft for submission for your assistance, but also then that could be considered by the town board. And so it's a lot similar to zoning resolutions that you might have seen in the past, although the city probably uses an ordinance. Just saying that met with petitioner, at least we've looked at his documents, right? And that the plan commission, and if you do decide, you found it consistent with all the local comprehensive plans. And then what they did is they came up with, at the plan commission, a recommendation to the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals to approve the requested variance, for just a few reasons I mentioned here. Like I said, they are the body that needs to make the decision. I think from what I've read to you that they've somewhat made a case just prima facie that it's okay. But they said that we don't get any written objections from the neighbors, that we get approval from Dane County regarding the shoreline wetland zoning and grading filling near the lake, if any of that is necessary, because they're going to be doing work close to the lake. that there's going to be stormwater runoff, and it's going to be close to the lake, and that whatever their plan is, it needs to be approved by at least our town engineer, because I'm sure the county will also be looking at it. We want them to build it like they did presented in the application, and the materials should match the house on the lot. Shouldn't just be something thrown up there, which likely means that they're going to have to run it by me. And one of the other concerns was we just wanted to limit to this structure. So Mark said to me, normally when you have a variance like this, it runs with the land. Well, our plan commission, it doesn't have to. And our plan commission, that would be normal, but they didn't want it to. They wanted, because we have all these tear downs on the lake, the plan commission was concerned that, well, if he's going to tear down the house and rebuild, and we want him to include in that building the garage, rather than just have the garage sitting there. And then he's going to have to meet the regular standards of the ordinance like everybody else. So that's why this was in there, and this is something that can be simply done by a deed restriction on the lot. It's not a difficult thing. So that's what they came up with. So of course, as a staff for the town of Westport, I would love to see the Middleton Westport Joint Zoning Committee recommend approval to the Zoning Board of Appeals of this variance and to the town board based on the approval given here by the town of Westport Plan Commission. That's what I have
Thanks,
for you.
Great, thanks Tom, and thanks Mark as well. Dean and Cindy, you were on Plan Commission that actually heard from Mr. Lambrick. Any comments on this?
Cindy, go ahead. Dean?
Go ahead, Cindy.
We did ask for more letters of approval or from the neighbors. I see that we have one, and it says no written objections. Would this still have a public meeting for any of the neighbors to come? I don't understand. I don't know quite what the process is. Okay.
Cindy, at the Zoning Board of Appeals,
I can explain it.
Hearing that's held where evidence is taken and people can object, and people get, as Marcus probably have to put together a list of people that can receive notice, specific notice of that hearing. So Mark can
so we provided notice to people with property owners within 250 feet of this property, and they're also displaying our sign that advertises that there's a public hearing. It's a yellow sign that's at the property. I assume he displayed it. He said he did. I didn't go.
He did. Oh, okay. So all those folks get to come in, and I would imagine, and can give testimony as to whether they think this is appropriate or not. So that's one of the other good things about the variance, is because people are definitely notified.
So we felt that
I would suspect, Cindy, that the one neighbor that our town board dealt with when Mr. Lambrick got a license for a short-term rental, he is probably not going to say, I approve, but he is likely to not object. He is just that way. But he also complained about parking at that hearing on the short-term rental. So this might solve some of the parking issues.
Okay. All right. So we felt that it did fit in with what everything else in the neighborhood. It also would take the cars off the roads for the plows to get through in the wintertime. And we all agreed about the variance lapsing with demolition of the house. And Tom really explained it pretty well, because there's so many tear downs happening on, especially on Borchers Beach right now, that I see that eventually happening on Wakanda. So that was something that was pretty important to us.
Thanks. Dean?
I really have nothing else to add. We did generally approve it, and without a whole lot of objection, except for the items that are in the resolution. So I think it's been explained. I'm okay with him doing it, and I'm okay with it tonight.
Okay. Kurt, Randy, anyone that has any questions or we need some further information?
I think from a city perspective, this is one of those areas where we follow the town's lead. And I like the conditions that you've attached to it. So I was just going to make a Wakanda Forever joke, but maybe that's out of, you know, there you go.
Just for my benefit, can you just kind of explain the extent of the variance for me? What
Going from
is
20
the variance
feet to 5 feet, I think, isn't it, Mark?
I can show the hearing notice again.
there you go.
Let me just find my packet.
Have to take the power grid.
Yep. I'm looking for the hearing notice right now. There it is. All right, so now I need to get the, oops, it's off my screen. Shoot. Here we go. All right, can you see it?
No, we still see the resolution, Mark.
How about now?
No.
Just a second.
I put the notice up, Mark, if you want.
Oh.
If I'm sharing.
Well, you see the hearing notice?
No,
That's
I don't.
weird.
I still see the resolution, Tom.
Well, it says I'm screen sharing.
You are, but you're sharing the resolution.
Well, that's interesting.
Why don't you say stop share, Tom? I think it's still showing yours.
Yeah, I will. I did.
There we go.
Ah, there we go.
Okay. So now you can see that it says notice of hearing at the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make that a little larger. So I wrote this based on the application materials. So it's to construct a 2-car detached garage measuring 608 square feet. The front of the structure would be located 6 feet, 8.5 inches, which includes the 3-foot overhang from the front lot line, and 2 feet, 6.75 inches, including the 12-inch overhang from the left side lot line. So it's the front lot line and the left side that are getting the that he's requesting.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And those are 10 feet and 20 feet.
That's the normal standard, 20 feet for the front.
Standard.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I should have written those in the other order so they would be parallel, but you get the idea.
Yep. Okay. And do you have with this also, Marcus? Does this include the photo or the plans that you were scrolling through before, just to give us a visual on it also?
So here's the overall site plan is right here. So here's the house is the hashed area down here. And then there's a long staircase, which I think is just staying in place. And the garage is this trapezoid. Is that, I don't know, I can't remember my geometric shapes at the moment. It's not a kind of rectangle, in other words. So I assume that's for storage, and then a 2-car garage.
And it's an oddly shaped lot relative to what the zoning would require today, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's narrow and it's almost shaped like you can see it's just narrow and
it's
wider at the road than it is at the lake.
Maybe by a little, but not
much.
It's pretty narrow. I don't remember what the width of the lot is. I don't think I have that measurement in here, but you can see that the houses on the property here are tight.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Jen, anything?
Nothing here, no.
All right, good. Well, I think that we would be good to take some action here. I understand that the Board of Adjustment needs to look at whether this is a hardship, and I think that Mr. Lambrecht has included information as to why it is, both for geographic and I think there's also a couple of personal reasons that he indicates there. And so that will of course be up to that board to determine, but I'm comfortable with moving it on with a recommendation for approval to the board.
Yeah, Ken, just a suggestion. It's the motion that I would suggest would be to recommend approval of the variances as requested, subject to the conditions and restrictions recommended by the Westport Plan Commission.
Okay.
So moved.
Well, great.
Thanks, Kurt. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have motion from Paulson, second from Grosskopf to approve that motion. Any other discussion on that? Anyone have any other questions before we take some action?
So the minute taker is recording the motion as to recommend approval, to recommend to the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Appeals, approval of the variances subject to the conditions identified in the town's resolution. Is that what you were saying?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Do we also need to recommend approval to the town board, Tom?
That would be helpful, yes.
Yeah, so to the ZBA and the town board.
Yes. Okay.
Subject to the conditions.
Didn't the town, oh, because the town board's meeting on the 1st.
Yeah. On the Monday, yeah. Yeah, we wanted to bring it to you first before the board took action.
So the town board,
I should say.
The town board isn't acting on the variances, obviously, but they're approving the site plan. Is that what you were?
What the town board will do is just, again, recommend approval to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Oh, I see. It's just a recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Hi, everyone. All right. Any other discussion on the motion? If not, then all in favor say aye. Feel free to raise your hand if you'd like.
Aye.
You'd like. And aye. Opposed say nay or give me a thumbs down. I see none. That motion is approved. Thank you all. And I think looking at it, that our last item on our agenda tonight is to adjourn. So we can take that action.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Nobody wants to adjourn?
Crickets.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor. John Murray was the second on Kennedy, and all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. We're adjourned. Thank you all,
Thank
folks.
you all.
Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, Mark.
Yep. We'll see you.
Bye-bye
We'll
now.
see you Westport
everybody later.
or Middleton.